having David Micley, who's actually a Newton City Councilor for Ward 2, which is the ward that Newton North is located in. He received his BA at Emory University and his MBA from the MIT School Sloan of Business. He has work experience in business development and is passionate about all of his work. Please welcome David Micley.
Thank you. Right. Here we go. Ward 2. That's where we're at right now. Let's go. All right. Thank you for having me. I want to talk about dreaming small. How wanting less will help you achieve more. First, a little bit about dreaming big. Dreaming big is everywhere in our culture. From the movies we watch as kids, think of Cinderella. I have 3 little kids. I've seen it too many times. The story of a young woman that goes from nothing to a princess, a queen, overnight, on a magical chariot that takes her to her charming prince. Literally, a Cinderella story. To our athletes that we look up to. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Personally, I'm more of a Jaylen Brown guy, but Tatum's had a pretty good year, so I gotta give credit to him too. Who likes Brown in the house? Jaylen Brown? All right. Tatum fans? All right. Yeah, Brown. I like it. But that's what we're surrounded by. These athletes, these stars. Taylor Swift, this book, it's literally called Little People, Big Dreams. Her story is an amazing, inspiring story of going from an unknown country singer to basically the biggest pop star in the history of the world. And those are our idols. Those are the things that we see on TV, that we watch when we're kids, and that are in our songs. Think about New York City. You know, the song Empire State of Mind. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of and there's nothing you can't do. New York. The Statue of Liberty, the American flag, big American flag. Everything in this country and our culture is about big, ambitious dreams. And that's exciting, that's inspiring. But is it helpful? I'm not sure. Anything is possible, right? You even walk down the halls here in Newton North and you see a picture of some swimmers underwater and there's a Michael Phelps quote and it says, anything is possible, or nothing is impossible. We dream of being astronauts, we dream of being successful movie stars, celebrities, athletes, and really, is anything possible? Well, it depends who you ask. If you ask these guys, it definitely is. Anyone recognize them? This is the state champions for soccer from Massachusetts this year, the Newton North varsity soccer team. They were the 31st ranked team going into the tournament, the only team ever to come in that poorly ranked that won the championship. So for them, maybe anything is possible. What about the other guys? St. John's. They lost that game. They went into that game also thinking anything was possible. Did they work less hard? Were they less talented? Maybe. Maybe. But maybe not. Maybe not. So how do we think about achieving, succeeding? How do we think about the reality of what it takes to actually do the things we want to do? I want to look to a few role models that maybe can offer us some inspiration. One of whom is Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, the Patriots coach that went on to win 6 Super Bowls with the Pats, known as one of the greatest coaches in the history of sports. What he did so well, though, wasn't dreaming big, wasn't talking about Super Bowls and championships, but was something much simpler that he focused on his team every single day. Anyone knows what it is? He had a line.
Do your job.
There we go. Do your job. Do your job. It's mundane, it's boring, it's simple, but that is actually what's in your control. In a game like football, where a yard, an inch, a tipped ball can be the difference between winning a championship and losing, a pass interference call that probably shouldn't have been called 2 years ago that gave Patrick Mahomes his first title out of second 2. You know, things like that. You can't control those things, but you can do your job. So not an easy task. You have to know what your job is and you have to do it. But the idea is focus on what you can control, do those simple things, execute and do that well. Another person we can learn from, Jeff Bezos, one of the great business leaders of our era. Regardless of what you think about him, whether you support him or don't, you can't argue with his success in bringing Amazon from nothing to an incredibly powerful, impactful company. But what he did so successfully was actually not dream big, but dream small from the beginning. This is his office when Amazon.com started. And the initial business was just bringing books online. creating an online bookstore that would deliver any book you wanted faster and more conveniently than going to the bookstore down the street. In business, this concept is having a beachhead market. If you start a business that works on serving everyone for everything, you're likely going to fail. But if you find a small problem for a particular group and just crush it on that, that's how you achieve success. And that's what Jeff Bezos did with Amazon. First with books, and then basically with everything in the world. Otto's Pizza. Who knows Otto's in Newtonville? All right, great pizza place. Great pizza place. There's chains all over the place, all across New England. I think a dozen, even more. The story's pretty interesting. They just opened up recently in Newtonville. I got a chance to meet the founder, and he told me how Otto started. He had a few other businesses that actually failed, but he made pizza when he was a kid, 19 years old. It was his job. So he knew how to make pizza, and he had to feed his family. So he created a single pizza store in Portland, Maine, to feed his family. And he just did that well enough to pay the bills. And through that process, he stumbled upon a certain type of slice, the masher. Anyone know the masher? It's a popular slice there. I actually haven't had it, I just like the cheese. But that took off, the chain took off, but he started simple. He just was building a business to pay the bills. And I won't lie, I'm a big dreamer too, especially when I was a kid. I had big dreams, like lots of kids. I wanted to be a professional athlete. And I went through each sport one at a time, trying to achieve it. Baseball didn't go too far. I never even made majors in Newton Little League. I know, it's embarrassing. NFL, I'll get to that one last. Hockey, I built a hockey rink in my front yard when I was a kid. I thought that would be enough to give me the talent to make it far. I played hockey in Newton, the C team, that's it. NBA, I thought if I could just make every shot I never missed, then maybe I would make it to the NBA. But you have to be athletic too. Apparently, I didn't have that. And the final thing is NFL. I thought that this was my way of sneaking into professional sports. I thought I could train myself to become a professional field goal kicker, right? Who does that? Well, apparently you also have to be an athlete in that too. And there was one time I was kicking on the New North field. My best kick at the time was 30 yards with the wind at my back. Some kid on the soccer varsity team came by and said, "Hey, I never kicked before, can I try that?" His first kick, 50 yards, straight through. He did it again, and then I just gave him the ball. But I came back to Newton, and I decided to dream small. I thought, okay, how about I get involved in local politics? Maybe I won't win, but how about I just run? So a few years ago, I ran in this race. You can see I have a bunch of opponents. They are well-funded, they are well-organized, and they won and I lost. There I am on the side, I raised no money, I got no endorsements, I had a little sign, my daughter was helping me, that probably won a few votes. But I wasn't really running to win. I wasn't really running to be the best. I was running to participate. I was running to run. And that was my dream, just to run. Through that experience, I learned a lot, I met new people. Eventually I ran again and did win. But the point was, starting small leads to big things later. So, what are our obstacles? What's in the way? Well, there's a lot of things in the way, but one thing I think really is in the way the most. And it's this. What's that? We all know what it is. It is a dream killer because it takes our thing that's most valuable to us, our attention. Research shows that having a phone nearby reduces your cognitive ability and even your motivation. So if this talk is terrible, I can blame this. It's right here. There's distractions, but there's also dreams of other people that we're constantly being fed, constantly being told, this is what we should aspire to, this is what we're not doing. And it's not just one dream, it's many dreams. It's many ambitions, moments of FOMO, things that we're seeing that we're not doing, that get in the way of what actually is right in front of us. So how do we deal with that? How do we focus? It's simple. Have a plan. Have a plan. It's not anything special. There's no secret sauce. It's just have a plan of what you're going to do every day. The simple goals, the everyday goals, the minutes that you spend doing the things that you are interested in and want to get better at, that's what makes dreams come true. Because the little things add up. One day turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into a year. We can't control a lot, but we can control what we're doing right now. And if we put our efforts into small, achievable tasks, whether we win or lose, actually won't even matter. Thank you.